Hello students, let's read the problem. And it says, write the equation that describes the relationship between x and y shown in the graph. So I need to write an equation for this. Okay, so the way that I'm going to write the equation is going to be on a slope-intercept form, which looks just like this. Therefore, I need to find the m, which is the slope, and I also need to find the b, which is the y-intercept. Is that right? So if I have a graph given to me, then maybe I can try to do rise over run, right? Yes. I mean, of course, we can do the equation as well, but what about if we try to do rise over run? Because remember that one of the things that it might be easy for us to do is when a graph is given to us and when the points are in a very good location, not like in the middle of a decimal, because decimals never ever will work for us, right? So let's look at the 2 points that are given to us. I see a point right here, and I see another one over here. Is that right? Well, let me ask you a question. Do you notice that those points are actually on a particular line? For example, this point over here, and I'm going to point it right here, it's exactly on the y-axis. Is that right? So we call that the y-intercept. Okay? And the other point that is here is not touching the y. It's touching the x. So we call that the x-intercept. Just a little reminder of things that maybe you already covered. Okay, so what I want to do next is I want to do the rise over run. Is that right? So I am gonna go from the bottom point, which is right here, to the top one. So I'm gonna go straight up. Is that right? So I'm gonna count, and I'm counting by ones because my intervals are by one. So I go 1, 2, 3. I do not stop at 3 because I'm not looking across to the point yet. So I'm gonna go one more. So how many did I go? I did 4 up. Okay, so I'm gonna write it over here. If it goes up, it's a positive number. Okay, now what about across? How many am I gonna go across? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 to the left. If you go to the left, that means -7. So if I want to rewrite my rise over run, I can rewrite it as -4/7. The negative from the 7, I can write it down on the beginning of my numbers. Now, I want you to look at my line, and I want you to look at the highest point that is right here. This is just to confirm that my slope is negative, right? My rise over run, it's negative, okay? So if it's pointing to the left, what does that mean about the slope? If it points to the left, it means my slope is negative, okay? And that's what I got. I got -4/7. So rise over run is the same as the slope. Therefore, my slope is -4/7. Okay? Now, I got the slope, which is right here. That's my slope. So if I rewrite it, I can replace already -4/7x. What about the y-intercept? Of course, I can do any question and everything, but I would like for you to recognize that in that graph, I already know what's the y-intercept, okay? So let's count the numbers here. This is -1, -2, -3. This is at -4. If the y-intercept is a -4, then I can say plus -4 but I can also just write down minus 4. So I got both already. I got the slope and I got the y-intercept. Is that right? Therefore, that will be my final answer. So it would be y equals negative 4 over 7 x minus 4. Okay? If you wish to check, you can do that by actually doing the formula for slope of a line. Is that right? And the slope of a line requires for me to find 2 points. That's the only kind of like disadvantage, because if you still have trouble finding my order pairs or the points, then it might be a problem. So let's write down my points here. So the point that is the y-intercept is actually 0 and negative 4. Remember that if you have a 0 on the x, then that's the y-intercept. The other point that I see is actually on the left side over here, and it's touching negative 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's touching negative 7. So negative 7 on x, 0 on y. Notice how those 2 points have a 0 on one of the coordinates, right? And that's the reason why one of them is the y-intercept and the other one is the x-intercept. Let's write the labels here. And basically, I'm just doing it so that you guys can see that the slope actually is correct, negative 4 over 7. So I'm going to circle my y values because they go on the numerator. So my y sub 2, it's 0 minus negative 4. My x of 2 is negative 7 minus 0. And 0 minus negative 4 is a positive 4. But negative 7 minus 0 is a negative 7. Which we agree we can rewrite it as negative 4 over 7. So I got the same slope here. Okay? So the rise over run is a very good tool to use. Anytime that you have a graph, my advice is do that. But if you wish to actually do the formula, then you can find the slope by using the slope of a line. Okay? And hopefully you are very familiar with that. Now from here, you can actually find the y-intercept. But I'm thinking you guys got the point already, right? Okay? So the y-intercept, it's the point where my line crosses the y-axis. And I can see that it's a negative 4. Okay?